Sorry, popping my ears. You ever get that feeling that it's like your ears are like, feel something, if you just move your jaw enough, it'll pop it. All right. Um, hey there. I might be just speaking to Tikayo right now because, admittedly, I forgot to put the stream up until last minute today. I really should learn how to automate the process. Oh, no, we got three. Okay, no, thank you all very much. Four. All right. Ryan, unfortunately today might actually be the first day where the map is in an okay enough state to actually do some coding. So yeah, the but there is some cool stuff to show from last time. And also, I'm not necessarily saying we won't do any more map stuff, but the map stuff we're doing from now on is probably going to be a bit more coding based, and until until we get that. Also, today is probably going to be a 3 hour stream because my wonderful girlfriend Yanni is busy tonight with studying and some other stuff, and so you know, might as well go the extra mile on this. The Okay, so we're just gonna start setting some things up. hmm All right, so got that running. Okay, now the textures are coming in. Ryan, when was the last time you actually saw this? When was the last time you actually saw this specific map? Because it's changed a lot. 24-hour stream for the building interior one. If I do 24 hours straight of building, I will not survive. My brain fries very quickly when it comes to building. Coding, though, I can code for like 5 hours. I can code for an entire day. So a 24-hour coding stream is not impossible. Um, hey, well, I'm happy that I can be of service as a podcast. The Let's see. Thank you, clone. Yeah, no, I grew it myself. So okay, so the textures are loading in. Also, did anyone worry that this facade is ugly? I know. Um, yeah, so we're just kind of loading things in. Also, Ryan, I messed with the news tower a bit, and I think it looks better now. It's now rectangular instead of circular because I realized there aren't too many curves in this game other than like terrain stuff. Like there aren't too many natural curves, so having it be the one round building was kind of throwing me. And so I made it rectangular, and now I think it fits in a lot better. No worries, Silent. I appreciate you stopping by. No, we're going to be running for an extra hour tonight, so if you want to just stop in later, you're more than welcome to. Thoughts on the recent Superhero Life 2 ideas? I skimmed through them, and I saw the one that got a lot of support was the school. They wanted to have a whole, for one, they said more than like two classrooms, which I agree with, but also just having more stuff. And I think that could be a good idea for like this area. Yeah, no, you're right. I guess I just didn't want, I wanted to, especially with the earlier buildings, I was working hard to avoid, having only one type of building. But yeah. Oh yeah, no, brutalism is my it's my guilty pleasure. Um, yeah, so especially brutalism and like winter. I think that's like very much my vibe. I would have done all right in Soviet Russia, except for, some of the human rights violations. The mhm. Yeah, that's what happens. Yeah, you vote Democrat a few times, next thing you know, you're wishing you're in Soviet Russia. Um, the Okay, so yeah, I'm just messing around at this point. Uh, I know permission add my so I don't put mine in wasteland ideas because no, don't put it in wasteland ideas. No. All right, let me see. Why don't you have permission to send your ideas? No, I don't check wasteland ideas anymore. So y'all, that's not a hack that works. Just say, you can just say it here if you want, but um, let's see, why can't you post in Superhero 2 ideas? Did I set the permissions wrong? Is it tester only? I need to rem if it's tester only, then that's something, but I think you just have to be verified. Um, but yeah, so it looks like in terms of ideas, just running through them. Okay, so I'm going to prioritize the ones with a lot of likes because those are the most popular. Um, More African American hair and more hair in general. I agree, definitely agree. Um, Super jump power, definitely open to that. Splatter effects, I like the idea. We're going to have to wait until dynamic stuff, and also we'll see because I can imagine splattering dirt on it. If I splatter blood on it, I get in trouble, and the game gets delisted for a lot of the audience. We'll see. Um, Okay, I don't permission to add my ideas on there, so I put mine. Sorry, I already reread that. I can't even get into verified law. Why can't you get verified? Well, just post it here then. I just don't post in wasteland ideas. Superhero Life 3.5 lighting and water, and this would be nice. Oh yeah, the that actually had. Is that where I put the good water? I think I actually had like a functional water animation, and I was wondering where I put that. Yeah, no, I'll definitely bringing in the Superhero Life 3.5 water. As to the lighting, we're definitely going to make stuff a little bit more dramatic. So that'll happen. As to doing that, we're gonna build it in normal lighting first though, so that we can get the colors right. And then because we want to have, if we build it in a stylized color and then we try changing to another one, it'll just look a lot farther. Whereas if we agree upon a neutral lighting first and then set up things from there, then we can get some nice stuff. Um, but yeah, okay. hmm Yeah, no, the I definitely like dynamic mesh water. I think that that is pretty performant and looks pretty good for the most part. The Let's see, what else? What else? Um, let's see. All right, so I'm actually going to um, download a car. I download a car. Oh wait, Google Drive now has a dark mode. That's cool. Let's see. Thank you, Google. Only took you a decade. Okay, last modified. So, oh yeah, okay. So I made a mind map, which I will now open up into. But yeah, I guess in terms of actually creating the skyscrapers, hmm, on the one hand, I feel like the map is now officially at a point where we can kind of get away with just doing stuff. But at the same time, the new buildings do look ugly. Like you can tell like the effort that went into the construction building versus these buildings, Like there's a difference. We'll see. Like it's hard to be proud of posting these buildings. We'll see. We shall see. Um, yeah, so Ryan, you still there? Let's see. Because if so, I will show you some of the cool stuff we made. I think you'll especially like the prison. Um, yes, sweet. Okay. So cool stuff we've made. For one, the city hall. We kind of have like an open center thing with like a generic statue for now, but yeah, basically, and then the two like we're gonna have like the courtroom on this side and like the executive office on this side. Like we're just gonna, or maybe we'll flip it. What one of the sides will have each. And I think that came out looking pretty good. But how about let's limit the ideas to one an hour or two silent. Or if they're quick ideas, that's one thing. Or if no one's talking, but right now everyone's talking. So, and then also, Ryan, so here's the prison. The thinking is you don't want to see a prison when you walk out of this beautiful park. So we put some trees in front of it so that, people don't realize there's a crazy, inhumane prison right next to them. And but the cool thing is with this prison, obviously in a world where super people can fly, um, an open courtyard like this is a bit weird. Also, my car-brained original instincts put a giant parking lot for the majority of the prison. Um, did that in Superhero Life 3 too, if I remember correctly. So with this one now, yeah, yeah, no, for sure. I definitely agree. Just kind of that cool like brutalism angle again. But yeah, so now the courtyard is actually underground, and so you can have some pretty cool fights down here. Um, so that we're gonna think of him like an energy field or something here, just enough to give him sunlight, but not enough to actually do stuff. And then you'll have like the cells and stuff in the main elevated building. Um, yeah, and then in terms of the other stuff, we have basic hospital, um, basic bank building, apartments too. The reason that these are so big is because each one of them is actually um, I've actually taken the original apartment sizes, which is pretty big considering that they have to hold a secret base under them, and then just use those blocks to determine the shape of everything. And so each one of these has like apartment blocks lined up in it so that people will be able to sort of have their apartments spawn in these different locations. Um, Welcome, Chris Terminator 15. We're just mostly talking about the map right now, answering some questions. Yeah, chill. I am open to a more modern apartment. The main thing is I don't want to prioritize that right now. Like the main goal right here is just to keep it as modular as possible so that I can, um, you know, get the apartments loaded in quickly. But yeah, yep, yeah. All of those blocks are going to be apartment spawn areas. Yeah, you have here's what it looks like for this one. Yeah, you see, like just trying to keep them as good as possible. Yeah, just and then here's this one. Woo. Okay, so we're gonna have some cool stuff there for sure. Yeah. So with that in mind, though, let's see. We have wait, where is that? Okay, cool. Why is it always opening up the packages folder first? Okay, so we have some map generation stuff. I'm going to increase the text size a little bit for readability. Oh, wait, no, come on, not that much. Really? Okay, fine, whatever. The do, do, do. So will teams be a feature? I think alliances will. I don't want to necessarily hardcore teams, because I think that you want to be able to determine who should be rewarded for fighting who, but you don't necessarily want to, force everyone to be like on the heroes team or the villains team. Like I think that that's kind of that's not ideal, I'd say. Okay, so a few weeks ago on the so I'm just gonna make a new folder for like design or something. Or how about docs? That's a more official name. Okay, so Oh no, this isn't what a PDF is supposed to look like. It's annoying. Okay, come on, VS Code PDF. Okay, let's try that again. All right, I might have to reload. I'm just trying to read the PDF. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, I was like, I was wondering like, okay, when's this showing up? Um, all right, so this is the basic design. We are going to have a, today we're going to start with just with my favorite part, data structures. Where we are going to start by just defining some data structures. So let's say, okay, so data init.luau header. Okay, can we split this screen? Okay. So now we have these. Okay, so this is how we're gonna figure out all of this. Okay, so we're gonna start with okay, so I would call this player data. Okay. Um, Local util equals that. Return util. Yeah, player data. Actually, this should this be a class or just a okay. We'll keep it functional for now instead of going full OOP this early because we're going to be passing this around a lot, and so we can just start with a pretty basic thing. All right, so function player data dot new. We're going to define a type, export type player data, and that player data will be so there's going to be let's see so design so identity character okay so characters. Mhm. Okay, so characters should be a list of character data and also a currency number. Okay, so from there, now we have to do, um, let's see, character data, which we can define with init.luau. I know that this might not be the most interesting stream, and I've accepted that. But in my experience, this is what you want to define first. You want to get the state actually laid out so that you can then do some cool stuff. Okay, so let's also make a few terminals. So source map. Also, I'm just going to save this. All right. Best of luck, Ryan. Thanks for stopping by. Hey there, Eric. How's it going? You want to have other people join it? Yeah, I think you should definitely be able to have alliances that people join. I think team parties should be added to avoid friendly fire. I'm torn on the idea of friendly fire. I would rather penalize someone for accidentally shooting their opponent than make it impossible. I think that you should have like karma that's removed when like ever you kill a teammate, you know? Like I think that sounds like more of a fun game solution than just saying no, you can't hurt someone. Like that's the thing. As a game designer, you never want to say no to the player. You want to offer them a choice. And the choice, and I think that the more choices you can provide, the more fun the game is, oftentimes. Uh, but they have to be interesting choices. There's that famous quote by the Civ 6 guy all about this. It's like a game development or game design is a series of interesting choices. And yeah, okay. So we have okay. So for characters, we have powers, power data. All right. Also, let's require the module local scripts work workspace source map dot. Okay. And then so now from there we have character data equals require script wait for child character data. Okay, so then from there we can export type character data equals character data. Yeah, that's how the streams are gonna work. As long as you're doing it, it's not gonna be boring. But what are you doing? So right now I am defining the data structures um, that I use in that I used for this. We're going to start by just making some clean data structures so that we can, pretty much map out the functionality. Like we want to record the state, the configuration in a single structure, so that we can modify it. And for each of these structures, I think, let's see, I'm really torn about making this OOP or not. Okay, there you have basically two options. You have functional or OOP or component systems, but that's too much of a headache to set up right now. Especially not when you're serializing stuff. Like unless you go like an XML route, but I you can okay, fine. Ignore that. You can serialize in entity component systems. I just don't have as much experience with that, and I don't necessarily think I want to go that direction right now. I can say though, in implementation, we might be doing some entity component stuff. Um, Hard to say. The okay, so we have the character. Okay, we're just gonna keep these as. How about we'll make it immutable? Does that sound good? No, but that also adds some headaches. Okay. Player data. Okay, so then power data. Okay, let's just add this entire tree of classes just heads up so that we can. All right, so power data init dot luau. So character. Okay, so we have power item customization, um, item data init dot luau. I think I'm just going to keep it. I'm going to keep it data structures for now because we're going to be passing it around a lot. And unlike with say Wasteland Engineer, where I did pivot it to OOP later on, we're not going to be modifying them in a way that would like affect other things. Like everything's pretty encapsulated, I'd say. So item customization. Uh, okay, so item customization, real estate, furniture, vehicles. Okay, so vehicle data init.luau, furniture data init.luau. real estate data init.luau. Okay, so we have item data there. Okay, so now power data. Let's just leave power data to the extent that it is right now. We can't expand all of this stuff, but let's at least go a layer deep. So character, okay, so another one to character, identity data. Okay, so from here we have to determine the transition. All right, so I guess so identity. So init.luau. No, that. Okay. So okay, so outfit fit. Okay, so outfit init.luau. Transition. All right, so outfit data. Information data init.luau. Okay, so power customization. Okay, so power customization. So power customization data init.luau. I know. This is one of those things where it's like, this is where AI will shine eventually when I get that more hooked up to my workflow. Just like take this chart, make a bunch of scripts. Let's see. Out speed transition. Okay, so outfit. Okay, I'm going to actually rename outfit to appearance data, and then we're going to name one outfit data and body data. And of course, init.luau. Well, no, okay. Doing what I do would be hard when you first start out because I've been doing this for over a decade. So yeah, you shouldn't try to do like, decade level stuff. You should start out with simple tasks. And I'll tell you, Superhero Life 2 was actually my second game that I coded from scratch, like without using any free model stuff for the majority of it. Superhero Life 1 had a bunch of free models for the powers, but the UI was custom coded. Let's see, Superhero Life 3 was the first game I made that used module scripts. Like it, my you don't have to wait until you're great at coding to do that stuff. Though keep in mind, your earliest work is most likely going to be the work you have to redo. But that's okay. I don't think that necessarily goes away. All you do learn is how to write your code in a way so that when you do have to redo it or change something later on, it doesn't necessarily cause as much trouble. Oh, I misspelled attachments. I don't know how. Oh, the R is right next to the T. Okay, that makes sense. Also, is there supposed to be a T before the C? I don't know. Now it's just not even reading right to me at all. Um, okay, so let's just go with this direction for now. Okay, so now clothing init.luau. attachment data, clothing data, init.luau. Okay, so we've made all of these basic datas. Okay, so let's decide how we want to fill it. Let's actually import a package. Import package compression util. That'll be handy. What else? Yeah, any starter functions we want to work on. So character data. All right, so maybe character data dot encode, and so that will encoding will take data, character data, and then string, and then convert it to a string. Decode, coded data, string, character data. Okay, so these are. Oh, I should have put decode here. So encode, decode. How about hash? Maybe like a hash function. Oh, that's probably the other one. I should add the hash util. Import package, hash util. Let's just make this native while we're at it. Why not? Okay, so compression, hash util, hash data, character data, string. And to anyone wondering what hashing is, it's basically it converts a more complex data type into a shorter code. It allows for faster comparisons en masse. Let's see, what else could we want? I mean, that's got to be about it, right? Okay, yeah, this should be good. All right, so I'm going to copy this into all of these. Okay, so we have character data, and let's actually remove this if we're going to be copying it. Okay, so export character data, and then we're going to edit replace character with power. We're going to call this one, replace it with item, replace it with vehicle, replace it with real estate, replace it with furniture. Let's see, which one is this? It's identity data. So paste identity transition power information appearance outfit clothing attachment. Yeah, also feel free to ask questions because I know this isn't the most, you know, exciting stuff. Yeah, okay, body. Okay, so we can keep that as relatively. What are you coding here? So right now I'm coding the data structures for the actual for the various different basically this is the data which is going to be saved. And I want to start by defining that just so that because here's the workflow in mind. First, we define the state, the data. Then we write functions to render it. We're going a functional approach for the for what's it called, for the actual storage here, because I found that just works better when you're passing data around a lot. And I think that so we're going to be doing it that way. So information, power customization, transition. Okay, so transition data, body, head. Okay, so so body head data init.luau. Okay, let's see. Head. How about skin data init.luau. When did you start coding? What did you start with the coding when first starting SHL2? I believe the first thing I coded was the powers, but I want to get the customization done first because at the end of the day, I think that people care more about the customization this time. So, I think that we should get the customization done first and then build the powers around these kind of data models. So I think that'll lead to a pretty fun overall thing. So proportions. Okay, so proportion data, init.luau proportions data, I guess. So then from there, trying to think what else. So body modification. I think that's pretty much most of it. Oh, I guess we should go into power more. Okay, the item power data. Yeah, so if y'all want to have a guess, okay, like honestly, this is the biggest spoiler for what I'm actually planning for character customization. Everything that you see that is being recorded here is something that you will probably be able to change. Like like for example, if you see something like transition, this is something we really talked about, but something I'm planning, like transition speed, transition color, transition type, weight, like all that stuff. And like having an transition in and a transition out be different. Is Elite here yet? I don't believe so. No worries, Wolf. Let's try not to be mean. I'm not offended by it, but I think Elite might be. Really, it's funny because I can tell that you both are young. So, I think let's be nice to each other because we're all going to put our foot in our mouth at some point. I know I've done so on the stream. So let's all be nice. Okay. So let's be compassionate. We're all growing. All right. Let's see. So yeah, so now, so we have that transition stuff figured out. Let's see, item customization, real estate, furniture, vehicles. Oh no, I should have put a random. Dang it. Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that in a second. Okay. So power, tuning, random customization, real estate, furniture, vehicles. Okay. So power tuning name appearance. Okay, so power, let's make this one, I guess, let's see, power type data. Power type data, init.luau, move it here. Power type data. What else? Then there is ability data, init.luau, ability. Um, I think everybody can be annoying sometimes. Let's stop talking trash about people, especially when they're not here. So state data. Even like here's the thing. Even if you're talking trash about someone who totally deserves it, I think it makes you got to understand it makes people kind of on edge because then they realize, oh wait, maybe you talk trash about them when they're not around, you know? So I think unless you know that both people really dislike the person, you don't want to talk trash about people when they're not there. And also probably I think it hurts the soul a bit, you know? It drains you. Yeah, so let's see. So effect data init.luau. Oh, wait, whoops. Shouldn't have changed that one. All right. No, wrong. Okay, so effect data. Whew, okay, effect type data. Believe it or not, this is actually going to make our lives very easy. I know it doesn't look like it. I know it looks like I'm just making a bunch of work for myself, and I am to an extent, but this is actually going to make our lives a lot easier. Let's see, so information, stat mod. I think, yeah, this is deep enough for now. What else? Okay, so let's rerun this. Okay, so now we are going to do some mass changes. We're gonna, I'm going to use let's see, what regex generator. All right, in case anyone's wondering, Uh, what am I coding in Superhero Life 2? So right now what I'm coding is basically the save data. That's probably the easiest way to view it because we want everything to be around, because the customization at its foundation should be about changing the save data. And so yeah, so that's what I'm doing right now. Also, but in order to do a specific thing, I'm posting this link so that y'all can see what I'm doing. But basically, there's this very cool thing called regex where it's cool, but it's also a headache because it can be kind of what's the phrase? It can give some of a headache. And also, this is why I don't show my screen because in terms of why I don't show my Chrome, right now my password manager just recommended my phone number for one of the blanks, and I would prefer y'all don't text me. You know, I have a Discord for a reason. Also, most of the time I get a text, it's either someone I've texted since I was like 8 or actually like 15. I didn't have a phone when I was young. Or like someone who should not be texting me. Very rarely does a new person text me that is like, oh yeah, totally. Yeah. So we're gonna change effect type. Okay, so character. So basically what we're doing is we're selecting the parts of the string that are important. All right, one white space, white spaces. Um, yeah, so if we identify the parts that we want to keep from the string, we can basically do much more complicated find and replace things. And because there are some areas that I want to change in relation to the code I just mass wrote, I can then copy this regex right here and hopefully um, one arb let's see, alphanumeric characters. Okay, let's just put it that way. Okay, so it doesn't like the it did not like that. So let me try this again. All right. Also, let me actually pop out the chat so I can still see. Um, but yeah, like so there are a few things that you want to consider when working with this kind of data. And for one, you want to unit test it ideally because data is usually pretty important. Um, yeah, the and it also allows you to catch some flaws in your logic. And so we will be doing that in a few different ways. Um, okay, so copy. Okay, so copy. Okay, let's try it this way. Okay, so come on, work for me. Thank you. All right, beautiful. Okay, so we have that part done. Okay, so we've identified this. Now we just got to figure out which part of the string do we need to actually. Okay, so equals open brace. Let's see what curly brace content. So let's try it with this. Okay, almost. Because we want to get like whatever we want to get whatever this is, you know. Um, all right, let's try this. Come on, come on. How about new line? Okay, there we go. All right, we got it. We've got the expression. And I think to replace it, so what we want to do is now we have a so now we're selecting this. We want to replace it with. Honestly, I should just use ChatGPT. This is what I get for trying to be smart. The okay. Uh, write a okay. Write a regex string to replace to get all okay. Let's see. Version index equals 1. Okay, let's try that. Ah, dang, it replaced it. It replaced it wrong. Okay, so we want to do find replace rejects using the replace window in VS Code. This is why you really don't want to, like, I only do this when I've made a lot of code that needs to change at once. And actually, I should probably save the, save my work. Okay, so added data type boilerplate stuff. By the way, in case anyone's wondering, a boilerplate, to my understanding, just means it's kind of the code infrastructure. Like it's not necessarily logic, it's just kind of organizing stuff, you know? So enter your replace. Okay, so find, okay, open the replace window, enable regular expressions, enter your regular expression. For example, when we match the word placement text, so okay, so would it be like B? Um, okay, so then we put this in. Ah, so close. We're getting close, y'all. We're getting close. All right, so for one, let's looks like it's okay with not having the braces in. Okay, so now I just need to remove the data. Did that work? Okay, so now, so that works. And so now all I gotta do is local. Beautiful. Okay, you see what we've done? We've made it so that it can copy. Oh no, I need to put an E. Tip local data um, data. Oh, wait a second. That's cutting it off like actually at the end of it. Um, hmm. Why is it doing that? Expression seems to be off. It seems to be cutting off the end of the string. So let's see what it recommends. Um, captures one or more, this is captured as blah, 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 matches one or more alphanumerics, constants. See, because why is it, you see like it's not, let's see, does this work? No. Okay, so original replacement. Modified expression. Okay, let's try putting parentheses around it. Beautiful. Okay, we got it. We did rejects, y'all. We did rejects. Yay. Okay, so now we paste that there and that there, and we do the magic. You see this? This is the magic. We just did 5 minutes of rejects, 10 minutes of rejects, with the hope of saving ourselves 23 annoying tasks. Um, Probably not the best use of the time, but still, it's good to have. Okay, so, okay, well, I actually added that twice. So version index, so then also now we want to do something like this, where effect type data hash. So let's type it in this way. So local, okay, so we're gonna do this again. Okay, so is that your real voice or am I using a voice changer? I think it's my real voice. I'm not using, I might have a bad microphone. Um, I think I'm a bit congested today, so it might be a bit deeper. Let's see. I can have resonance in my voice when I'm focused on it. Like, all right, so next up we'll be doing blah 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 blah. I don't know. I'm not good at acting. But no, this is usually my voice. The did you finish all the buildings? So I finished. I got something in every lot. I wouldn't call these buildings finished per se. It's just yeah. Yes. Unfortunately, it's not being done in 15 seconds. Um, but yeah. So right now, what I'm doing is um, I'm taking the code that. Okay. So local effect type data. Okay. Local. Okay. So blah blah blah. So I've got that. So next, next. Okay, so now I want to replace it with local. Um, Next. All right, so local next, next function $1 data dot random seed number one data. All right, so now n n end n end. Okay, let's try this. All right, almost perfect. We just need to remove one more of the ends. Beautiful. Okay, we got it. Okay, so now we'll add that. Okay, see, once we've unlocked it, um, it's useful. You see? Okay, so now that we've unlocked it here, we can apply it everywhere. Yay! Okay, so now let's just check that everything is looking about how we're expecting. Also, let's go back to, I think because it's a little bit different, player data actually didn't get the version index. Okay, so now I think we're pretty good for now. Let's close all those. Dang it, now I gotta okay, now I gotta actually go through and do stuff that's not necessarily as fun. Okay, so source map dot will the I, but how will the powers be balanced? I believe every ability should be viable, not every. Yeah, my dream for in terms of ability matchups would be kind of like a rock, paper, scissors thing, where like a person with a ranged weapon will usually beat a person with a melee weapon kind of idea. But you know, like but based on their distance, I guess. Like if you're close with the sword, you should even the weakest sword should beat someone with the best gun if you're right up close, you know? Or someone who's water power should win against someone who's a fire power. Like you should get various modifications and buffs for you know, different types of impacts. So version index. All right, so let's just go back to this. All right, so now, okay, so now that we have these kind of mapped out for the most part, okay. All right, let's just start with a character. You know, no, bad. Okay, so character. Okay, so export type character data. So inside a character, we will have da, da, da. Will the remake get map expansion updates? I'm not necessarily against it. I think that, but the initial release will be just what we know. Um, Yeah, it really depends on how the games are successful. I think for the most part, my goal will be more systemic improvements, like things that can go across all of the games relatively easily, rather than like specific game stuff. But if a specific game, you know, thing, if a game would benefit from a specific thing very clearly, uh, then I'll still do it. Like it's just, you know, trying to keep things, trying to spread the effort across the projects. Let's see. Yeah, so you should add a fire and water blast powers. Definitely fire, because I think there's already fire attacks in there. I'm open to water. I think it really is, I think we have ice. It's just kind of fluid mechanics and games are hard. I'm not against it. It's something that people want, obviously. But yeah, it's just kind of a headache to actually get right. Okay, so character, identity. So character identity. Character identity. Why am I my brain freeze? Sorry. Um, Identity data equals require script wait for child identity data. Okay. Also, I am going to make a code snippet. Okay. So import. I call this one import child. Import child. Require script wait for child, blah. Okay, imports a child module. And so that looks good. Finished boilerplate. Okay, so now we've got all those in. Okay, so let's try this now that we've created that code snippet. We can do things like this. Import, dang, okay, import child, power data, import child, item data, import type. Oh, did I stop doing that one? Okay, then we'll write, we'll make a type one too. So import type, export type, um, okay, I'm going to make an E type for if we need to export it, and a P type if not. Okay, so right, so that imports a imports it, unpacks and exports type, unpacks a type. Okay, beautiful. Import p type, e type. Okay, what's all this coding going to do? Okay, let's see. Sorry, one question. Chris, you should be cooked. Did you just call me Chris? It's like that's like calling your teacher by your first name. No, CJ. Gosh, or Mr. CJ. Um, let's see. What? Okay. My name is John has asked, will the combat system improve? Like new anime boxing game around would be cool because slow punching. I'm definitely. I mean, the combat will get better just in the sense that I'm a better dev. I'm not intending to take inspiration from any specific game, but I want the combat to feel good and have variety. I guess if there were inspirations, it'd be a mix of Overwatch and Elden Ring. In identity data for E-type, E-type, power data, import E-type, uh, item data. Okay, so now identity. Oh, gotcha. Okay, makes more sense. Okay, no worries, chill. Will the map get expansion after the release? Yeah. So to answer that question, I'm not opposed to it, but that's not the main goal right now. You know, like I won't. I'm not like saying like no, I won't. The but like if there's a cool thing that needs to be that benefits from being added, then that's great. But for the most part, I'll be focusing on like systemic things that can be applied across the games, like new powers, new customization things, like the kind of content which much more easily, you know, adds exponential value. But yeah, I mean, like at the end of the day, I'm fine, you know, adding new things. It's just not for the initial release, as you noted. Bot, yeah. So bot chip, I didn't answer your original question. Apologies for that. Um, the this is we're currently outlining data structures so that we can, you know, do some functional programming, which is where you pass data structures in and then they pass a new data structure out, kind of thing. I don't know if I want to make them mutable or immutable, which is whether they can be changed or whether you have to create a new one every time. I think it has to be mutable, otherwise you're recreating the entire tree every time something changes. Um, so yeah. Uh, do, do, do. Let's see. I had to go. All right. So I think so. Character data. Okay. So if the so character power. Okay, so character power. So character. So we have a list of powers. So I guess uh, powers should be power data. Or okay, let's just. I should do it the right way. Not. Yeah. I should only use number if it's a dictionary. Um, power. So now from there we have identity. So identity data. From there I have outfit, which is so identity, character, identity, power, item. Item. So we'll make this one item data. All right, cool. So we have that. I probably should add an ID to it. Yeah. Okay, so we have that. So, and let's preemptively add a encode decode array. Encode array. Because you can get a lot of size benefits if you skip a lot of the if you know beforehand that you're going to be encoding multiple. It's kind of like the difference between storing something like imagine like packing a suitcase. If you were to have 100 suitcases and then dividing the items up into like type specific, you could actually get a higher efficiency in the same way that, you know, if you put like, I don't know, 10 pencils in every suitcase, it would still take up some data, but it wouldn't necessarily stack. I'm sorry, this analogy makes no sense. Ignore me. Just know that encoding an array leads to higher efficiency. Um, so, all right, so we have character data. Let's see, so design, so items. Oh, but this is item customization. Interesting. Okay, so that actually shouldn't be under character. That should be under, that should be its own thing. So item customization is a different thing from item data. So I'm going to copy and paste item customization data. Furniture customization data. Real estate customization data. Vehicle customization data. Okay, so we're just going to do this manually. All right, so vehicle customization, vehicle data. All right, so furniture. All right, so this has a few benefits. The main one being, okay, so now we have to replace this with import child item customization data, import type customization data. All right, so the reason that we're having two different types, one for customization and one for vehicles, is because we want to store customization at a at this kind of level here. Let's see. item data, unknown item data. So okay, so item customizations. All right. So now let's just start. We're gonna start somewhere and then just start working our way back up. So head data. Head data is here. Okay, so let's just start by defining this one, and we're going to work our way backwards. Okay, so head data encode array, decode array. I think I swapped these. Okay, so head data dot. So let's just start by defining the type. So we have hair with. Okay, so from there we have scalp. Okay, so okay, we have to go a little bit further actually. All right, so hair data. Okay, so let's just copy this, paste hair data, replace head data with hair data, and okay, so now let's do this. All right, so we have um, type string or type string color string texture string. Well, color should be a string. Color should be a color 3. And we can make these optional if we want. Syntax, special function. Oh, I forgot to put a comma. Okay, so version index. Now, I should make something like random util that like just generates random, random data types. Okay, so let's do hair data random. Oh, so actually, let's start by okay. So color type hair type hair texture hair color. We don't need to put hair for all of these. We can just the only reason I put hair type is because text type when lowercase on its own is actually a Lua global, and so it might not parse correctly. Let's see. Vehicle. Yeah. So yeah, vehicle data is going to be one of them. Hey there, Shardo. Welcome. Appreciate you stopping by. Um, okay. just for now, oh, do I need to fix the verification bot? I'll check in on that. I'll check in that after the stream, probably. Yeah, so yeah, scripting time. Basically, right now we're defining hair data. Yeah, so that should return hair equals hair type, color equals color, texture equals texture. Why is it yelling at me? What did I do wrong? Oh, I should have put type. Okay, nice. So now, random, we will just return hair data.new. So first we're going to make a seed. Local RNG equals random.new seed. Okay, so color3.new RNG next number, RNG next number, RNG next number. Actually, I'm going to do from HSV. I feel like that leads to slightly better vibes. Okay, so now, so color3 cannot be converted into a string. Oh wait, it needs to be a string. Dang. Because we don't actually have the hairstyles listed out anywhere. Okay, let's just put temp for now, and then how about just to do, and then we want to be able to cover so if RNG next number is less than 0.5, then to do else nil. Okay, so that now we have generated a random hair. Hash. So we'll just okay. So return hash util md5 hair data dot encode. This is the laziest way to do it. I'm sorry. But yeah, so that works. I probably should have just automated that. I should have thought for like 10 seconds before doing this. Oh well. So decode. Okay. So return. How about? Yep, I'm coding. So decode. Okay, I'm gonna actually make type a number. I'm gonna make texture type. Okay, we're gonna make these numbers. And then we will have a, this will make it easier to encode and will encourage some good practices later on. Local max hair type count equals 32. Local hair texture count equals 12 or something. We're just gonna put some random numbers here. So RNG next integer 1 do that. Hair texture count. Okay. Hair type, color, blah, blah, blah. I'm not, uh, what am I coding? All right, so right now I am coding the, I'm basically working with the player data to make sure that I can encode it in a way which is, um, I can encode it in a way which is easier to, what's the phrase? I can encode it, brain, work. Okay. I can encode it in a way which is much more compressed and easier to pass around, and also well-defined and type safe, which means that it'll be easier for me to just write code and less time will be spent debugging. But for now, okay, so version index. So let's return string.pack. Okay, there we go. Okay, so, mm, okay, so I wanted this one. Okay, so how did I encode color 3 before? Okay, so BBB. So what string.packing basically allows you to define how many bytes of data you're actually keeping. This is why a lot of games like don't allow you to go above like 256 or 512 bits of data. Like that's because they're storing it with a very specific amount of bytes, and that means you can store a lot more. But it does mean that you have to be more specific about how much data you are storing. And so if so we're gonna make, let's start with just encoding. So if version index equals 1, then else error script get full name version index not supported. Okay, so that'll be good. The reason I'm encoding versioning stuff at this phase is because I know that at some point data structures will change, and so I want to be able beforehand to like still transfer previous data over. Um, yeah. So okay, so we have BBB. So data.color. Okay, so data.color. How did I do it before? Okay, so RGB is these values. Okay, so data.color is that. Data.color is that. Data.color is that. So this will then be, okay, so RGB. So RGB, but let's actually define the type first. And how many types, what's a good, okay, let's just stick with 200 and 55 hair types for now. That might be a problem later. We will see. Hair type count. Assert hair type count is less than or equal to 255. Hair type is stored as stored with only 8 bits. Let me double check this. Yeah, okay, 8 bits, with only 8 bits. Okay, and then with this one, hair texture is stored with only, so let's, okay, so hair type count, so data dot type -1 RGB, data dot texture or 0. Let's see. I'm definitely in favor of bringing back as many hairs as I can. I just need to, verify that I'm allowed to use them still, because I know Roblox keeps threatening to like make certain hairs not public domain anymore, which would be a headache. And I guess they weren't ever technically public domain. It was just very clear in a platform where you can't upload your own meshes and only the company could upload meshes. It would be like saying that the head mesh isn't public domain for your place. It just kind of retroactively did that. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. Okay, so now we have that hopefully encoded. That's cool. Cool. Because these are all binary, okay, so now decode. All right, so now we have to local index equals string. Oh wait, we have to encode the version index still. Okay, so now so we have encoded data. Okay, also we don't need to check it when we're encoding. We just need to check it when we're decoding. So version index equals so string dot unpack just the first byte, and that will allow us to let's see. Okay, so if we remove the version index, okay, let's just store it as is. All right, so version index is equal to that, and okay, so now we know that we can unpack it like so. So local RGB, let's see, so R hair type RGB hair texture, which equals string unpack data type 1. Okay, so version index. So in encoded data. Okay, so now return hair data.new hair type number. Welcome back to Gaming Zone. Let's see. How long is the stream today? Yeah, so it looks like it's 3 hours today. So we still have another hour and 20 minutes probably. The so now let's see. Hair type, well, you do have to add one to that. Then RGB. RGB. And then we have to do color 3. So from RGB, RGB. And then if hair texture equals 0, then nil, else hair texture. Beautiful. And now with that, we've encoded this. Okay, we're going to swap these around as we need it. Okay, let's just do the simple encoding for now, and we can do mass encoding later if we want. Okay, so compression util dot array. All right, so that encode source data didn't I have a way to do this in like a special way? I think I only did that for basic data values. Let's see. It's fine. Okay. Encoded array equals for IV and I pairs encoded. Let's see. So data do and encoded data I equals hair data dot encode. We're doing it in a lazy way. I'm sorry. Encode V. Now return compression util. All right, so now Okay, so now string.pack. Let's see, how do I encode strings again? Okay, it's just an S. Okay, so S, so BS. So now version index encoded array. All right, perfect. So we've packed up all that data. Looks interesting. Will we playtest by any chance? Yeah. So playtesting it. We definitely will be playtesting this eventually. For now, though, the only testing we're going to be doing is unit testing. So we're defining all of this logic, and then we're going to unit test it. We're going to try it. We're going to have it run through a bunch of different random versions and like try to, get it to validate that okay, we're doing everything right. So now let's see, local version index. Okay, so version index is equal to string.unpack B encoded data array, and if version index equals 1, then else give that error. So from there, let's see, welcome back to Gaming Zone. Enjoy your French fries. Yeah, so unit testing, that's why you want to keep things to data structures when you can, because it makes them easier to test as well. Like you can just verify a lot of the code's functionality by brute forcing, changing things and seeing if any errors happen. Let's see. So version index. Okay, so version index equals 1, error message version index. So now local, we're going to get this back right now by unpacking it. So we can do that with here, encoded array data. And then, so that this is actually the encoded array. No, this is the encoded array. To get the encoded array, we need to unpack, we need to decode this part. And then local data array, pair data equals for I encoded data in encoded array, or no, in I pairs, coded array, do end data I equals string dot, let's see, the camera's a little bit to the side today. Let's see if that fixes it. Okay, so data array string. Oh wait, no. For here we would do pair data decode because we're doing it the lazy way right now. But yeah, so actually, let's stop adding the encoded array stuff right now. We're just going to do it the boring, lazy way for a bit. We're going to start out simple. We're going to get some optimizations later, but for now, we're going to do it the boring way. Okay? But at least we finished this one. Return. Okay, so now we return the data array, and yeah, we finished that. Let's comment these out for now because we don't want to actually add that functionality for now. We want to, but we don't want to remove it either. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add a unit test. Let's see, where's a good example of one of those? Compression util encoding. Where did I put the test? Unit test.spec. All right, perfect. All right, so now we're going to paste the unit test. Okay, so module is equal to, so let's just get rid of a few of these. We have let's just clean up some of that. Okay, so describe hair data. Import. Okay. Local module. Hair data equals require script dot parent, which we're going to want to update the source map. Describe encode array. Okay, so let's start by skipping a lot of these because we're not doing array encoding yet. Okay, so describe hair data is equal to it blind. Okay, so I will just do a local sample size equals one. Let's 512. Okay, that should get enough of them, you know. Okay, so it describe hair data. We don't need a second level of this. We can just go here. Encode type. Do I have a separate one for decoding? No. All right, cool. So we can just get rid of a lot of this boilerplate code. Wow, this is a long unit test file. Why did I grab this one? I keep expecting it to end. Okay, so let's just do that. Oh my goodness. What was I thinking? Okay. All right, perfect. Okay, so hair data, okay, so let's just make the samples. So local Okay, so inputs, let's see what types of functions we have. So we have random, so we should expect that to work. It random hashing should work. Okay, so hash, um, encode, decode, encode, decode. All right, yay. So now we have a basic set of things. Thank you for stopping by, Wolf Gamer. See y'all next time. Let's see, the longer search history, which is fully YouTube. Oh yeah, that's longer than search history. Yeah, yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, yeah. Uh, so let's do. Okay, so RNG. How about so hair data dot random RNG next integer 1 to 10,000. Okay, hair data dot random data util. Let's just place that hair data. We're going to try to keep this as general as possible to avoid um, causing any issues. Okay, so let's just make a local type test data. Okay, so index. Okay, so value v, value encoded string decoded v. So now local results. So we're going to call this tests, test data, data util dot hair data. So equals table dot create sample size. So tests. So tests I equals. So let's actually pop this out. Okay, so right now we are basically assembling a set of tests that we're going to run it through. So we're gonna try constructing it and encoding it. And these will only catch if there are any errors in the actual running of it that would cause an error, that would happen here. But why am I so off center today? Did I bump my screen or something? It's odd. All right, so value equals V, encoded equals E, out decoded. Let's just put decoded equals D. Uh, okay, so data util dot code decode value encoded. I'm so confused. Why does it think this is hair brick? Oh, it's because I told it was brick color. Okay. It's like, what's going on? And then we're going to do for IV and I pairs. I keep trying to put brackets because I'm used to doing C# code. So tests, test in expect test to be equal outnumber. Okay, so test dot. I don't think we need to check for that anymore. Okay, so let's do. See you, Gaming Zone. Thank you for stopping by. Okay, so for hash, so for tests, I guess for I test and I pairs tests do and ex expect test dot value. Okay, so how? So we have to. Okay. Good hash string, bad hash string. Okay, so hash good, bad. Okay, that should be simple enough. And so now hash equals. Okay. From there, we're going to put good hash, bad hash. So the bad hash should be just a different, just a different one. But I guess technically, in theory, you could have. Okay, so wait. So how would I best hash things? Because in theory, you don't want it to have like. Okay. hash. Okay, so hash. I'm just going to skip hashing for now because realistically, the hashing is just going to be. Okay, yeah. So for expect test dot value to be equal test dot decoded. Let's see. We're down to 4 viewers. Yeah, yeah, y'all hung out for a while. I appreciate it. I know unit testing. It's not the most fun thing in the world. Let's see. I want to test hashing though. Oh, no worries. Welcome back, Chill. Sorry to hear you're having troubles with your phone. I appreciate it, Eric. Yeah, the not all parts of game development are equally fun, but you know the developer has to sit through it either way, and anyone who wants to see how it works. Yeah, no, there's daily streams, huge Bert. So if you know, you're welcome to stop every day, Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. EST through 6 to 7 p.m. EST. Depends on the day. The But yeah, I think this is fine. Okay, so this is our basic unit testing coverage for now. No need to overdo it. And so now let's I'm going to actually make a Rojo serve. And so this should allow us to connect, accept packages, scripts, unit test. All right, so now let us see if we pass the unit test. We did not. Oh, okay. It's because it's expected to value table. Okay, yeah. That's silly. That's silly. All right, so I need to go through. So for expect hair dot value color to hex to, decoded. So expect the colors to be the same. Expect the encode color. Describe hair data encoding. Okay, so we get more granular with this. Okay, so color, expect color to be that. What else? There's also, let's see, hair data, texture number. Okay, so type, I guess let's do type. Type, expect hair color dot type to be equal to type. What else? And then texture to be equal to texture. Yay! So now that we've saved that, let's see if the unit tests work now. Does not like that. Ooh. See, this is why we unit test. Check this out. We are getting a slightly different, we're getting a slightly different value. Except, okay, y'all, this is actually so fun because this is why you do unit tests, because I thought everything looked good. I thought, okay, we're just doing this to be responsible. But this is why unit tests, because even when you think stuff is good, you'll mess it up sometimes. And yeah, this is why we unit test. So let's, okay, I'm just going to close all to the right. Close, I want to close to the left, dang it. Item data, character data, okay, hair data. So why is it not, there it is. I messed up the encoding syntax. Hair type, okay, let's try this now. All right, it's because I messed up the syntax. And now it works. Bingo. And that is why we unit test. And now, from now on, you know, as we edit things, we'll be able to run these very easily. Okay, well, it looks like I'm still messing something up. Okay, so why am I not, okay, so from RGB. Okay, so RGB, RGB. What is going on? Because they look similar. They're consistently similar. Like, what is that in bytes? That is a difference of, so 70, 7E, 82. So they're, hold up. Let me see. This might be an issue with randomly generating them. Because if I'm not, if I'm rounding it, if I'm not rounding it correctly, it will, because Roblox doesn't necessarily force you to, Roblox is weird. Roblox can do a thing where like it will, um, oh, see you, have a good time, love you. All right, so it seems it'll actually be a 3.5 hour stream. That was my wonderful girlfriend, Yanni. So yeah, it's gonna be a late night. Okay, so I think it might have to do with how Roblox is handling, because when you put a value in a color 3, it stores it as a float, but then when you encode it as a hex, it reduces it to a bit. And so I think we can do basic protection for that at the constructor level. Okay, so two hex, and then color 3 from hex, and this gives us hopefully clean data. This should scrub out all of those issues. And bam. Okay, that was it. Perfect. A plus. Okay, so yeah. Let's see. The I just want the camera to be in a normal place. Why is that so difficult today? Welcome back to Gaming Zone. Okay, so we have the unit tests working for hair data encoding. Though actually we might just consider, because um, it is stored under that. So let's actually change the syntax. See, that's a bit shorter. Test. All right. Okay, so we finished hair data. We've unit tested it. Great job, everybody. So now let's go to head data. All of this was in preparation for um, going a level up. So let's actually copy over the unit test script. So unit test.spec.lul. It's just a good script. Okay, so head data. Okay, good job. Okay, so now going back to the mind map, feels like it's been a while, you know? So we have hair, so scalp. So it's export type hair data, import child hair data equals hair data. Oh, I could have used that one thing. So we're going to make these optional because, of course, you know, they might indeed be optional. So hair data, um, import child, yeah. Yeah, in Roblox, the hierarchy is a parent-child thing. They say, so if you have an instance containing other instances, the instances inside of that instance are called children, and the instance containing them is called the parent. And so a lot of Roblox code is basically working within that, uh, within that naming. So what I do with the import child code snippet, I just make it so I can easily require a module under it. Um, and so face, eyebrows, so hair data. I guess if I want this to be multiple, I should do that now. Um, yeah, I should make this multiple. Though only one set of eyebrows, right? Do you have an estimated release date for the remake, or are you too early to tell? Yep, you guessed it, too early to tell. Unfortunately, when it comes to programming, like you can do burn down charts to get approximate estimates, but at the end of the day, the only way to know how long a coding task takes is to code it. Because all code is just is just a design written out. So like the the better your estimates get, the more you could have just coded it. And so I just, I know that I don't have like a budget. I don't have like a limit as to, how how when this needs to come out. And so just, focus on keeping on being efficient, not overdoing it. And yeah, the let me actually just remove. Okay, so head data encode. Random. Let's define the complete head first. So eyes. Okay, we're going to make a new one called texture data. Now, but you don't need to make transparent hair. That look bad. So we'll save that for a different thing. Yes, I can say in terms of yeah, Roblox development, you know, there is a surprising overlap between the terminology and the audience, which might not necessarily be the case for most programming. Okay, so head, eyes, texture, shape. Okay, so we'll make that a type instead. So type, color. Yeah. And we'll store, if it's nil, then we'll just assume whatever the default is. Okay, so type, number. Okay, so we have basic head data. Let's see. So head data is now stored as, okay, so head data, new. Okay, so I type, I color, I material. Hmm. Dang it. Okay. We should, okay, we should make an I data because frankly, there's just a lot of overlap and we want to we want to have support for left and right eyes. Left eye data, right eye data. Do I have muscles? I do. No, I do not. I mean, I guess I have them literally, but I'm not exactly um, going to the gym every day. I can bike pretty far though. I've been biking for years. There was a summer in college when I'd bike 100 miles a week. It was nice. Wish I had time for that these days. Um, okay, so let's paste that. Okay, create the source map again. Replace hair data with eye data. Okay, this should be a relatively fast be a relatively fast one. I type count. Type is 8 bits. Compression util. Looks like I didn't end up needing compression util in that one. Unit test. Well, it was only about 20 miles a day. So if you think about biking 10 miles in one direction, which takes a bit over an hour, and then biking 10 miles back, it's like 2 to 3 hours of biking a day, 5 days a week. I had more free time, and it was the summer. Um, the So iData, texture, color, type. Okay, so max hair type count. So I'm just going to close this and just focus on making the this new unit test. Good. Okay, so iData. Okay, so we're just going to focus on iData. And okay, so we have iData.new, iType count, color, texture type. I texture type count 12. Okay, so I type count. All right, looks nice, looks nice. Hash looks good. We could just use the same encoding standard for both. That's pretty nice. Hair color texture. Hair type, we want to make this I type. Let's see. Yeah, so we can keep this data pretty good. Okay, so I think that's about it. Let me texture I mean, this looks like it might be a pretty fast implementation. Unit test. And iData is now working. A plus, good job, team. All right, so import child iData. Import eType iData. Now we actually have to take this information and okay, so scalp hair array, base hair array, Let's see, eyebrows. Let's see, eye data equals hair data equals eye data, right? Eye data. Hmm. Head. Okay, so now with this in mind, head data, alpha data, head data equals, place these with equals. Um, no, you should, okay, I've been looking at this wrong. The we should not accept any parameters in the constructor, which is not going to change too much. iData equals um, um, rng dot type equals blah, rng dot color equals blah, rng dot um, idata dot texture equals blah. Did I remember to remove that at the end? Yeah, okay, so that looks good, and then we got to return iData. So the reason we don't want to necessarily include all the parameters in the constructor is because there's just too many. It's much better to just have a default value and then modify it from there, at least in my opinion. iData equals idata.new. Now, idata.hair.type equals hair type plus 1. idata.color equals what we have here. idata.hair.texture equals this here. And then removing iData. So iType will have iType be 1. I will just put it at the top. Local default iType equals 1. Local default iTexture equals nil. So we should specify it could, if we wanted, make the number. Local default iColor equals color3.new000. So we'll just make it black. Okay, so default iType, default iTexture. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing to hair data very quickly. In fact, can we just copy this like we did before? iData, and then same thing with constructor. Let's see, and then default hair type, default hair texture, default hair color. Okay, now replace the eye data with hair data. Um, and when is this estimated to be released? There's not really an estimate. There is a idea of scope. Like we know about how many things we want to do, um, but it's not an estimate. Probably sometime this summer is when things will be done enough for people to start playing. That's my guess, but as it's already May, it can be hard to balance that out. Hair type count, hair texture count. Okay, so that's looking good. Okay, are we still passing the unit tests? Let's see. We are not. Oh, it's because now now it's allowing anything to be sort of set. Okay. How do I want to approach this? Because there's no I don't want to necessarily make it so that you can't mute. I don't want to make it immutable, but I also want to be able to enforce color 3 safety. I mean, it's just functionally it doesn't matter that much. People can't really tell a difference. So color 3 dot from hex to hex. Okay, this should make it past the tests at least. Um, which is it's not ideal, but I can live with it. 2 hex. All right, so now let's see. How's the unit test look? Head data. Oh, it's because I haven't finished head data yet. Okay. Yeah, so now back to head data. I'm surprised it even compiled. Or maybe it didn't. I wasn't really paying attention. But now we know not to do anything with that constructor. Face nil. I appreciate it, Mosh, if I'm saying that correctly. No, thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Okay, so now return. How do you feel about the people who exploited to have more customization? I think that those people are better developers than I am. Uh, do, do, do. I data dot new. Okay, so now we have that. Scalp. Okay. Yep, yeah. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say I'm open-minded. I can definitely be stubborn on things. It's just when you talk to enough people, like I've been doing development stuff with like an audience, a community since I was like 12 or 13. Like you learn, it's kind of like erosion or something. Like all that's left over time, the soil goes away and you're just left with the rock. And the rock is usually stuff that, is resilient, makes sense. And so I think, yeah, I think you come to understand that a lot of people make sense to themselves. And I think that gives you a lot of empathy. Um, but at the end of the day, we're all still blind to something. I think if you think that everything I say makes sense, then I guess we're both blind in the same areas, which, hey, makes for good friends, but not necessarily the most learning experience. It's funny because on the one hand, not wanting to be in a bubble versus wanting a safe space to be yourself truly is a balancing act, isn't it? So, okay, let's just go the random route. The so let's just start by making a new head. Okay, so well, data equals head data dot new. All right, so for I equals one, let's get the RNG from before. Local RNG equals random dot new seed. I'm Yeah, but thank you, Eric. I do appreciate the compliment. Um, the gaming zone. I'm not actually familiar. Is there a reason you have to wait 40 minutes to play Arkham City? Next integer 0 through 3 data. Um, eyes equals table dot insert data dot eyes. Uh, I data dot random RNG next integer 1 to 10,000 RNG next integer. Well, no, I shouldn't be doing iData with this. I should be doing hair data. I should be doing it in scalp. Hmm. Oh, hair dot scalp. There it is. So then hair dot scalp. So hair, scalp, face, eyebrows. So I guess face. If RNG next number is less than 0.5, then data dot hair dot eyebrows equals hair data random. Let's see, what else do we need? So we need eyes. So let's see, data dot eyes dot left equals dot, no, this is eye data dot random So let's just get that random seed again. All right. And I think that's pretty much it. Return data. Version index is never used. Yeah. Annoying PlayStation need to install more stuff. Forced updates for offline games are so frustrating. Like, if it's an online thing, okay, maybe it's a security patch. But if it's an offline game, like, genuinely let me play. It's frustrating. I got. This is why you get like people pirating stuff. That's every time a game updates on Steam for me, it's like, oh, we'll be back to this in 8 hours, even though it's fully offline. But for some reason, there's a 50 gigabyte patch. Usually that's an update though. But I'm also fine playing the previous version of the game. Sigh. Okay. The decode. Okay. So let's start with encode. That'll make it a little bit easier. Okay, so also let's actually get the encoding correct. So okay, so this is that. Okay, so now we have hair data dot random. Next integer. Okay, so we've randomly generated that. Okay, so I guess describe hair. Describe. I'm going to describe hair and eyes. Hair and eyes. So now let's just eyes left, expect value dot eyes dot left to be equal to decoded dot eyes dot left. Yay! Okay. So also let's actually make it a hash thing because this is just going to compare tables. So let's see. Shoot. We're gonna have to load in the hair util, wait for child, hair data. iData util. Okay, so iData hash to be equal to iData hash. We done with units? Nah, fortunately not. We've only moved up. We've gotten eye data and hair data, and now we're getting head data. And we have so many classes to get through. It's going to be boring, and I do apologize for that. But it'll only get faster as we get more code we can just copy and paste. Yeah, the dream is that we'll have eventually a just like a comprehensive like data engine essentially where we can validate, okay, all of this makes sense. Okay, so describe hair, scalp. Okay. So for expect, J hair in test dot value dot hair dot scalp do end. So expect hair dot da, 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 da. Oh, thankfully we're actually heading for another 30 minutes today. Yeah, so my girlfriend came in and said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna be busy for longer than expected," and so yeah, we're gonna be here for a while. The Superhero Life Islands are probably in the Atlantic. It might be Pacific. I always forget. They might also be in different oceans. It's an American government though. Uh, yeah, stuck as Bruce Wayne in a Batman game. Horrifying. Um, let's see. Vhash equals hair data util dot hash hair local dhash equals hair data util dot hash tests no test dot decoded dot hair j and expect vhash to equal dhash. Let's see. So we have that. I should probably do it this way for these ones too. Just a second. Okay, so idata util idata util da, 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 makes it more readable. Expect da, 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 to be equal to blah. Let's see. So we got scalp hair figured out. Okay, so it scalp hair face face I goofed up here. Okay, so that looks good. It and then face, so eyebrows. So test dot value So if test.value, then test.value, else, blah. That's annoying. Okay, so how about test value equals test.value equals test.decoded if test value, then test value dot hair dot eyebrows. So if decoded value, then else assert test value null mismatch at I. Um, let's see. Oh boy, Bruce Wayne vanished. Someone should call Batman to help find him. All right, so we've got the eyebrows, eyes, beautiful. Okay, so now all we have to do is actually finish the encoding decoding part. Bruce Wayne said that? I don't know. That guy's just a billionaire playboy. Who would take him seriously? It would almost be like someone saying Elon Musk is like Iron Man. And they're clearly opposites. I don't like Elon Musk very much. He strikes me as a person who just jumps in last minute and takes all the credit. Let's see, and that's just the tip of the iceberg, I guess. Just know that I disliked him before he bought Twitter. Now everyone dislikes him. Now everyone understands this guy's crazy. Let's see. Thank you, thank you. Let's see. How should I best go about this? Okay, so I want to encode an array of strings. So hair data. Okay, so how about let's do a local left eye encoded left eye equals idata dot encode data dot eyes dot left. encoded right eye equals blah, 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 dot right. Let's see, encoded eyebrows equals eye data. Equals data dot hair dot eyebrows if eyebrow data, then we're just going to have it set this value. Let's see, encoded left eye, hair data dot encode data dot hair, or I guess just eyebrow data. Now let's see, encoded scalp hair array equals data dot hair dot scalp. Okay, so for eye pairs, data dot hair dot scalp do encoded eye equals hair data dot encode hair data. And then encoded facial hair array. Let's see, hair data, so encoded facial hair, face. How much money have you made from Superhero F2 if you're comfortable answering? I think around 150,000, maybe like 200,000 across like 6 or 7 years. Like it's been about like 20, 30,000 a year, reducing over time. So like the first year was like 40,000, and then like just kind of reducing since then. So like it was, I wasn't like super rich or anything, but my expenses have always been relatively low, short of constantly moving places. Okay, so equals compression util dot array string encode. Encoded. All right, so I think we have enough. Let me just gonna double check something, but I think we should be good. So return string dot pack b version index. Let's see, are we missing anything else? So eyebrows, okay, so we have 5 data points. So encoded facial hair, encoded scalp hair, encoded eyebrows, encoded right eye, encoded left eye. So with that, we should have, so is that 5 S's? Okay, so that should be a deterministic encoding of the data. Yeah, so in case anyone's wondering, encoding is the process which takes the data. Probably should explain this a while ago. Encoding is it takes the data and converts it to a really packed string, really just a little bit of text which you can save relatively easily and pass around. Um, it's not easy to work with directly, but it can then be decoded back into something that's easy to work with. And so it's good for storing data. And you just usually want to build out a function that does it as you create your data structures. Okay, so version index equals string dot unpack b encoded data. All right. So if version index equals 1, then and or else, I guess. Version, oh wait, I should change these to actually say the version that's being used, not the constant. All right. Equals 1, then we can know local, okay, so local version index equals string dot unpack. Let's format this. Okay, much better. Though that's a lot of variables. String dot unpack. So what's the pattern? Unpack coded data. So now we just do this in reverse essentially. Like local left eye, right eye, we're going to turn them back. So eyebrows, local eyebrows equals hair data nil. If equals that, then eyebrows equals hair data dot decode. CJ, are you refusing to look at my comment? Oh, sorry. No, I just didn't see it. Yes, no, naming Twitter X has some adult entertainment implications. In fact, I believe the government of Thailand actually banned it because of that. Which is funny. The hair data, so encoded eyebrows is not equal to 0, then we'll decode that. Okay, so local head data equals head data dot new dot eyes dot left. Let's just add these directly. Eyes dot right, hair dot eyebrows. Yeah, well, I think it worked. It worked all right in SpaceX. It's just the dude over relies on it for branding. It's not strong enough to be a brand on its own. It's just he's fundamentally uncreative and it's painful to watch. Um, encoded scalp array, encoded facial hair array. Okay, so let's undo that. So for I encoded hair data in iPairs compression util array string decode encoded facial hair data. All right, do and head data dot hair dot face I equals hair data dot decode encoded hair data. Okay, beautiful. So now we just need to do this for the coded facial hair data, coded scalp hair data. Scalp equals hair decode, and then return head data, and that should successfully unpack it. So now let's figure out if the unit tests work. Bingo. First try. And this is why you do this kind of type safety and checking stuff. It may look like it's slower, but like this moment right here where like you type code for 20 minutes and it works on the first try. That is why you do type safety. That is why you do unit testing, because it takes a little bit more of an investment, but once you actually get it going, it has so many, like, it just makes coding so much easier. Like you don't, like debugging basically becomes non-existent if you have, once you have a good unit test workflow. Thank you, Eric. Thank you. Yeah, so that's the head data. Okay, finished head data. Okay, so saving our work. Okay, so now I guess what's another one? Proportion data? What's in that? That was like a nightmare. Um, proportion data. Should be proportion or proportions? What proportions? Okay, let's do we have to change the source map though. So body type. Yeah, we have 15 minutes left. This looks pretty simple. Okay, we're also going to do a basic pseudo enum. So, rename pseudo enum build. Oh no, that's the command. So pseudo enum build. Source map. Okay, so let's add some of these. Okay, so body type equals, so we can have it be mass, fem, non-binary. We can, and the goal is to make this, you know, body modification, head, limb texture. Okay, so body part type, head, torso, let's see, head, torso, torso, left arm, right arm, left leg, Right leg. Okay, so body part type. What else? I think that should be pretty much it. Let's not do body modifications right now, though. Um, okay, but other proportion stuff, that should be doable. Okay, so proportions data, let's get this sketched out. We're probably not gonna, are we doing a playtest at the end? I mean, like, unfortunately, there's not necessarily anything really to play. This is all back-end data structure stuff. What this is building to is that once I've finished basically out defining all these data structures, I'm then going to use them to define a character rendering pipeline, and that will allow me to actually like basically take one of these data structures and convert it into a character. And once I can do that, my life gets a lot easier. You know, it basically means I could just go through and generate different superhero characters relatively easily. And once we have that, then all we have to do is hook up the UI to change these data structures, and bam, you have a customization system. Yeah, so when you start by defining the data structure, all you got to do is just hook it up to things, and you get a relatively quick path to a really solid customization pipeline. So far, how did we come with units? So right now, I can say we have these ones right here are ones I just added and haven't hooked up to anything, but we have created, what is that? We've made 11 unit tests and for 3 different data types. So yeah, it looks like purport. Now, not all data types take the same amount of time. Like iData was a relatively fast thing. Um, so scale, number, height, number, weight, number, body type. Let me import that. Import shared pseudo enum types. Did it not build? Did I forget to build that? Okay, let's try that again. There we go. So body type, and then body modification. Let's see. Okay, so init.luau. I'm going to close that. Body modification pseudo enum dot body part type is equal to, yeah, 10-minute mark. That is true. That is true, Eric. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, I need to we're probably not going to finish all of this stuff today. Well, of course we aren't. Oh yeah, we're finishing the game in the next 10 minutes. But yeah, import type, body modification data. All right, so I don't like that this is its own separate thing. I think we should move this back up to, I think I'm going to move this upwards a level, and I'm going to make it so that everything we've written is now just body data. I don't think we need to have a separate one for just proportions necessarily. So delete. Yeah. So now we have to update the source map so it stops yelling at me. But yeah, so body data. And then that, because we've now modified this away from the original, we have to now also include skin data. Okay, so import child skin data. Import e-type skin data. Skin. Though this does mean that we have to actually do skin data first, unfortunately. So let's see. Run, CJ, run. Finish game 10 minutes. Okay. Okay, so head data, body modification data. So we just, okay, I think that all makes sense. Okay, but we've almost finished defining the body data type. And I think this is pretty good. Of course, forever regretting that not just making hash util in the original default. Okay, so let me just go through and just do that for all of them. Okay. So skin data, body modification data. Yeah, so body modification data, this is some interesting stuff. This is sort of the idea of like, say you want to have like a robot arm or something, or like a prosthetic arm, or like a lizard arm, fire elemental arm, whatever. That's where this data would be stored in body modification data. And so, yeah, we're hoping to support a lot of that stuff. Okay. Trying to think how. Let's so let's store all this data here. Let's write up the unit test in the next 5 minutes, just for the top one. Let's copy the head data one because that one is a little bit closer to the multiple thing. Okay, so describe Okay, so body modification is the only one which is going to cause a headache. Describe body modification. Everything else is more or less fully checkable at just, the encoding level. Okay, so unit test.spec. Okay, we don't need to check for anything that focused. So K, K2, K1. Body data. So we need to instead bring in data util. So skin data util, for child skin data, and then body modification data. And hey there, huge Bert. Thank you for sticking around. And you, Eric, and Eric, for everyone who's still here, everyone who is still here, for the most boring development, for the part which developers will avoid like the plague. Thank you. I appreciate it. Y'all built different. Skin. Okay, so the skin now should fit that. Did I have any other subclasses that I need to compare in a fancy hash way? Body modification? No. Perfect. Okay, then I don't need to do it that way anymore. And I can just do it directly off the, so body type. Okay, so body type, weight, uh, weight, height, and scale. Um, so from there, uh, okay, one minute left. Okay. So text, scale, value, scale, test dot decoded, scale. All right, so let's just copy this over to the next ones. That way I don't have to retype the basic starting path part. Okay, body type, body type. Is this weight? This is weight, yeah. Okay. Weight, height, height. All right, and now body mod, body modification util, body mod. Uh, if body mod then, else expect body mod be equal to test dot decoded body modification K. Oh, wait, why, if it wasn't K, then, wait a second, import shared sudo enum. Okay. Well, d body mod equals, let's just do, all right, I know we're a minute over. We're almost there. I just want to finish this unit test. I'm not sure that's how I'd handle the ability to time travel, but you know, to each their own. Uh, so d body mod. Okay, and we've done it. Okay, unit test complete. Beautiful. Thank you all for stopping by on this admittedly less eventful um, one, but you know, the not all of them can be winners, as it were. Okay, so I will talk to y'all later. Have an amazing day, and I will probably see you tomorrow evening. Probably will be a 2-hour stream though. Okay, see you. Bye.